Hello, welcome to the book club. It's actually easier for me to show you what happened. It all started about 3 days ago. Let's move to the security camera in my library. So I was in my library, up my ladder, just getting a book. The Secret Diary of Adrian Molay. And then I, of course, retired to the lounge where I relaxed and read the book. I like to read books up ladders. That's how I chill out. That's how I kick back. There was a chapter with a paragraph that was quite explicit. I'll make no bones about it. I fell. And then bounced right off the puff, bounced back up again. Kept doing that for ages. It was like a bouncy castle. Absolutely could not stop. Until then, of course, the puff moved and I flew out the window. But thankfully, that story took so long that they've got me out the cast. That's a relief, isn't it? Here I am. And that's the sort of content you're subscribing to. We will be patching through to our designer extraordinaire, Gaston Plum. He's read the book, and he'll be designing it throughout. Let's patch through to Gaston now. Oh, he seems to be having a very intimate moment with a pencil, and I seem to be floating. Oh dear, no. Gaston? Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. We're going to get our guest out. She's known mainly for her work in erotic fiction, bringing erotic fiction from low art to high art. In fact, she's the only female academic in history to be knighted. Please waft your books high, proud and erect for Sir Alison Thea-Skot. Just tell us a little bit, pray tell, about the work you did within erotic fiction that got you that title of Sir.
Well, they decided to knight me Sir because most of my work is about dick, so it felt sort of appropriate.
Do you mean Richard Coddington, the great poet who just wrote dick poems?
Yeah, a bit of a Richard Coddy, Coddy Cod, and also actual phalluses.
You're on a train, or perhaps a tram, and opposite you is a very kind looking woman. She's reading. Doesn't matter what she's reading, she's just reading. She finishes, but instead of brandishing a bookmark, as you'd expect, she turns the top corner of the page down. What method of assault or grievous bodily harm do you opt for?
Probably lick the hand. Because like I said, I don't laminate a book, but I also don't mind getting a book wet. And a lot of people would be angry at me for that. So I understand where it comes from, the need to mark the book. It's damaging the book. It's making the book your own. It's controlling the book. That's what she's doing by sort of folding the corner. So by licking the hand, and I have owned her.
I'd say 99.9% of us within the academic world, everyone here at the book club, we would probably have, done her in with an axe or just shot her. I've tried to get people on, who are contemporary, who are pushing boundaries, who will just lick a woman reading a book. That's what you'll do. What is wrong with our world that you'd be punished for that?
I know, when I'd really be opening her up to a world of erotic fiction.
Yes, exactly. It'd be, but also, I suppose also, I would be punished if I shot her. That's an ongoing
and
campaign.
that would be a greater punishment.
It would be, and how is that wrong? You're, if anything, encouraging her behaviour, whereas I'm putting a stop to it.
You're putting a stop. Yeah.
I've said before, I've said again, I would get into activism, but I've got a lot on. So
why not then shoot the book? Take away the pleasure. They've already damaged the book. They've already hurt the book. So shoot the book. How would that feel?
I don't even... No! The book is the only innocent party in this.
I've pushed you there.
My blood pressure is here.
Oh.
My heart over there. The thought of harming an innocent book when all it's already, hasn't it suffered enough? I'm clinging to this, Sir Thea-Skot. that you didn't pick that as the option. I feel you were merely challenging me to maybe extrapolate some sort of sexy plot out of me. Please tell me
And
that's
it worked. And I've written it all down.
down to book business. So, it's a little silly tradition. We say the book title at the same time. 3, 2, 1. The Hairy. Let's just say it.
Oboe.
Please tell me the author, if you wouldn't mind.
Clémence de Haut.
The Hairy Oboe by Clémence de Haut. We're going to go straight now to Gaston Plum, who's been designing the book the whole time. Here we go. Gaston.
Oh, wow. There we have.
A big hairy carrot. A big hairy carrot. So
By
I
a
think I'm
dungaree-wearing
having a reaction to this.
rabbit.
To the antibiotics. I think I'm going to cry. Thank you so much, Gaston. Really, to be honest, expected cover. If I hadn't have had a seizure, which is, not my fault. I don't believe in genre. But I'm going to take it to the other members of the book club, open it out to you guys. 70s heist.
It's a buddy cop as well, in a sense. There's a buddy cop sort of vibe to it. It's the kind of buddy between the rabbit and the carrot.
Yes. And what's nice is that, the carrot is, fully inanimate. We don't see, or, he never really responds. But it is goddamn big.
It's all done in sort of rabbit language. So in a sense, unless you have had a pet rabbit, it's quite difficult to fully get the sort of the understanding of what's happening.
When the carrot takes over narration, you are quite relieved, because it's like, well, this carrot's the voice of reason. There's drugs bust downtown. It goes wrong. And then the DCI Carrot and Detective Bunny, they're disillusioned by 1970s Manhattan. They're not getting paid. It's time to maybe go to Vegas, rip off a casino. And
also they need to prove themselves as well. Yes. The bunny's been threatened with being sent back to his warren. And the last thing you want to do as a rabbit is hand in your badge and gun.
Clémence de Haut didn't help herself. She didn't. What I'm trying to say is, there's a giant carrot trying to pull off a heist in a casino. It's difficult to hide, and it struggled to get through customs.
I did love the chapter all about trying to find different costumes for the carrot to wear, and I just thought seeing a carrot in various different disguises with a moustache
beard. But then there was that wonderful bit where it was like, well, where do we put the beard? Is it in the middle of the carrot, or is it the bottom of the carrot? Where's the carrot's chin?
But then I think it's quite sad. He realises he has to grate himself.
When we reach a certain age, 30 to 35, we must start to grate ourselves.
Sacrifice ourselves.
We keep the shavings. Sure, we may have a grater that's a sort of a tub with the grater, and then you grate, and then it falls into the tub, so you catch
yourself.
We went through so many different iterations of its costume, but it ended up dressing as Leonardo DiCaprio.
I didn't realise as well, so they went to Vegas to rob the casino.
Yes.
Which in a sense is the opposite of trying to prove yourself to Manhattan police force. So that in itself is a terrible decision.
As well, it shows as well how difficult it was in the 70s, because, corruption. Why would you want to tread the good path in 70s Manhattan downtown?
Very difficult being a rabbit as well. Going into those different communities, those different neighbourhoods, and how you would be treated.
Whether you're in Brooklyn, whether you're in Harlem, whether you're on the Upper East Side, everyone knows a carrot, everyone loves a carrot, everyone understands a carrot. A bunny, however, a bunny in dungarees, no less. The whole time we thought it was going to be the drugs people who did the heist. But it's our own pals. No. They get there, and then it turns out, it's a bluff.
They were doing it as a ruse all along. It's very clever at framing.
The framing is clever.
That last scene is it's not quite the last scene, of course, because then the last third of the chapter is all about the oboe.
Yes. How they catch and finally befuddle the drugs bust group. It's the oboe, and the reason he's got his hairy paws on it. A Hopeful has requested that you maybe just read an extract from that Bunny Speak chapter. Yeah. And I think there was the foot stamps as well. Oh.
It was then that I, the carrot, took over. I had seen the bunny struggle. I had seen him with his hairy paws around that long, shiny, fascinating instrument. And I decided then and there that I would make him my partner. He didn't know it, neither did the oboe, but he and I would be friends.
Would you mind just giving us a quick blast of the couple of lines in the chapter 14, where it's just the oboe? That was my favourite bit. He goes back to his oboe teacher, and there's a little sex scene in there.
If you're turned on by an oboe being wrapped around a tree, whilst a rabbit furiously burrows a warren underneath, and the oboe plays because the wind is howling and whipping through the oboe, which in itself is I would guess, a sort of analogy for anal.
I just thought, oh look, he's going back home, and the oboe's stuck in a tree.
And then, of course, I think it's very clear that the climax of that scene, the grated carrot, the lid comes loose, and the grated carrot just bursts everywhere, scattering through the leaves, and blowing on this enormous scale. Some even actually get stuck inside the oboe, travels through the oboe, and that in itself is dick inside fanny, is tongue inside mouth, is rimming.
That's one of the most beautiful readings of that final scene. The sexual contact and sexual content within Shakespeare is all happens off stage, all happens off page.
Apart from there is a scene in The Tempest, which has been newly discovered.
Right, what's that scene in The Tempest?
It's where the storm is fucking everyone.
I'm very interested to see what the front cover of this book turned out like. Here it is.
What's the quote? Oh, goodness me.
Put this book right up your pipe. Laboratoire Garnier. This oboe blew me. Vegas Times. Okay. De whore has done me again. Final
she loved
quote.
it.
Take my name off this now. Yes. Well, of course, we were too busy discussing the book to talk about the ensuing legal issues with Leonardo DiCaprio. 70s disco.
And that we forgot to mention that he comes carrot.
And it's got his sideburns and his glasses, and it's answering that.
The beard.
Also the absolutely classic Gaston Plum dog that is. Yes, it's also got a vagina. Yes, brilliant. Thank you so much, Gaston. As ever, a beautiful cover that takes your breath away. All that's left to do is just thank you for as Dr. Electro says, this is a super memorable stream, and I'm taking that to be sincere and not sarcastic. What's your Twitter handle?
Sexy bitch. No, at Alison Thea-Skot.
Yes, thank you so much. That was absolutely enlightening and wonderful. Oh yeah, sorry, I should do my sign off. Okay. Stay book. Stay book is not my sign off. I just panicked.